Oh, what up, Lucid crew? Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, I am Lucid Rob, and today we're going to look at videos from all over the internet, videos that you submitted, and look and try to figure out what's going on in the world, because things are crazy. We got billionaires building bunkers, we got aliens, we got all kinds of stuff. So, yeah, let's try to figure this stuff out.
The Mandela effect and how the particle accelerator altered the weight of one electron and therefore destroyed our universe and shifted us into the universe that's directly next to it, and therefore things are different in this universe.
So you believe that this thing that some people call the Mandela effect is actually real?
Oh, it's absolutely real.
Can you describe what it is for people who have never heard it before?
Sure. So the Mandela effect is the effect of some people thought that Nelson Mandela died at a certain time, and other people remember it as a different time. And this goes for a lot of other things. You know, Star Wars, classic videos, Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. Everybody knows that. Well, if you actually look back to the original film, it's not Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. It's Magic Mirror on the Wall. And some people actually...
Which, of course, it's not.
It's not,
in
right.
the reality I grew up in.
Right, exactly. In an alternate expansion of our universes. Even in my own scientific notes, I've found rewritten signatures and things that are a little bit different from originally what I wrote.
So how did that actually happen? Let's take your notebook, or let's take Mirror, Mirror on the Wall, like an old film, animated film. How did it actually change?
Well, it never changed. We changed. You see, we were moving relative to our universe, and then our universe destroyed, so now the universe started to move, or I guess our parallel universes, our multiverse started to move parallel to us, because we were out of alignment, and that just destroyed everything. So technically, the universe didn't change, we did.
I just had a little pause there. Just my accident. We weren't deleting anything. People were saying, "Oh, what's going on?" Because I had a text coming in. So there are two studios, let's say the Disney studios. One studio, Studio A, creates a film that has Magic Mirror on the Wall. Another studio says Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. Is it two separate studios, or what happened?
No, same studio, different timeline. So, good thing we have a multi-layered napkin.
This is very high-tech.
Yeah.
In terms of our graphics.
Definitely sophisticated.
Go ahead.
Anyway, so as I said,
because I love that one, because everyone remembers Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. I mean, there's no one, and there's a whole Sally Field. You like me, you really, really like me,
yeah.
Blah blah blah. And
build
now it's
they
you like
will
me.
come, build it. He will come. The peace sign.
Oh really? I didn't know about that one.
Oh yeah, there's so much. I have a record of all the ones that I've been able to.
Of course,
match.
You do.
Some other stuff that I should tell you personally about later.
Okay. Can't wait.
So yeah, infinity down the line from our original timeline, where here's ours, and of course this timeline is only moving forward because, well, the expansion of infinite number of realities behind it. But what happened was we made this universe sort of out of balance, and our universe,
because of the collider, the super collider.
Yeah, we altered the weight of a single electron, which I believe shifted us into a parallel universe, considering that we caused a chain reaction that could have catastrophically destroyed our universe. I mean, even when we thought about starting it, we thought our universe would implode, and then it didn't, and we're like, oh, it's okay. Well, maybe it did implode. We just instantly got shifted to another universe.
And that's your belief?
Right, in my belief. Of course, this is just a theory and it's still being developed.
Okay.
But yeah, maybe in that infinitely small moment of time, we were instantly shifted.
So the strange thing about that is, like, there's stuff that we remember, you know, Berenstein Bears, Mirror, Mirror on the Wall, whatever. So if it imploded and we were shifted into another timeline with different stuff within this new timeline, right? I'm just doing this because it's a theory, right? But I believe, you know, there's definitely a possibility. We shifted this new timeline, so we remember some things differently. But then there are still people that remember some things from timeline A and some things from timeline B being the original ways of doing things, right? Like there's multiple things. So Let me try to explain this in a way. Let me try to explain this better so it sounds more understandable. So it would seem like there were multiple universes that had the effect of, CERN disrupting, reality, and like multiple realities imploding on themselves and getting shifted to the reality that we're in now. Or else there would just be, people that believe strictly world B information, like Bernstein Bears and Mirror Mirror and Luca and Your Father, and people that strictly believe B. But that's not the case. There are people that remember A, or things from A and things from B. It makes me wonder, are there people that also believe things from like universe C that maybe came from the other side that had different things? Or I'm not sure how that works. I don't know. Let me know what you think. This Mandela effect stuff is crazy.
I designed U.S. Navy spacecraft carriers. So I went to work then at Douglas, and I'm a draftsman for 2 weeks. And my chief, section chief, started through my background. And of course, it says all of this stuff that I had done in the Navy. So he puts me in this think tank. And there's where we get to the first think tank, okay? It's inside of Douglas in a walled-off area. And there's 200 guys in it. And we investigate every aspect of extraterrestrial, military, commercial, whatever. And I was assigned to design for the Navy about 16, 18 different classes of U.S. Navy battle group ships, which didn't exist. And these were, the larger ones were from 1 kilometer to 6 kilometers. These ships fly in space. They're spacecraft carriers, which finally got built back in the late 70s up in Utah underneath the ground. And you've seen the pictures of U.S. Navy spaceships, Solar Warden. So Solar Warden came out of a think tank inside of engineering at Douglas. And a whole lot of other stuff came out.
Man, I really want to believe everything that these, eyewitness accounts, or everything that's in these eyewitness accounts, are people that were involved, people that, oversaw things, people that saw things that weren't supposed to. I want to believe all of it. I love all this stuff. Obviously, I do this channel. I record these videos. I watch them. I love the videos you guys send me, by the way. I'm always learning new stuff. Sorry, my allergies are destroying me today. It's going to rain. Yeah, I mean, I fully believe that there's craft on the moon, probably on Mars by this point. I don't know, man. I see so much stuff that is so conflicting. Like, I love sci-fi. I love sci-fi books. I'm reading Red Rising right now. It's the greatest book series I've ever read in my life. It's fiction, but it's incredible. It's sci-fi. Read it. So obviously, I'm being into sci-fi super hardcore. Like, I want to believe that there's things in space and whatnot. But then it comes to the flat Earth theory that you guys send me videos and saying, like, Project Fishbowl, for instance, like we were never able to break through the firmament. And there's the damn radiation field just outside the Earth's atmosphere. If you do believe in space that we're supposedly not supposed to be able to get through, then they say that it's dispersed so much, it's so spread apart that if you go fast enough, you can actually make it through without getting that much radiation. And then we don't have the technology to go back to the moon. The moon landing was fake. But then, we have these guys developing crafts that were made in the 70s to carry things through space. Now we have Space Force, and there's so much stuff that is so conflicting, like, to other beliefs, that's just life, religion, whatever. Everything has, the opposition to one another. But I am of the understanding, and I am someone who thinks that there are aliens, that there are, we have far more advanced technology than we're led to believe. I think that there are, crafts on the moon, maybe bases, maybe we found old ancient ones on moon, on Mars. Maybe there's aliens on the moon, and we did go to the moon, but we couldn't show that footage because, we they don't want us to know what's up there. So then they faked the moon landing, essentially, using footage they could actually show to people. And it's so crazy, man. I'm going to stop rambling, but I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments when it comes to stuff. Do you believe in space? Do you believe we've been on the moon? Do you believe that we are already, multiplanetary as far as, where we've been and where we have bases set up and stuff? Like, do you think the Earth is flat? Like, let me know what you believe. Like, what are your top, I guess, 3 conspiracy theories that you 100% believe? Like, it could be anything. Bigfoot, flat Earth, whatever. Let me know in the comments.
Hey.
I live next door. I've got problems with the Wi-Fi.
Okay, so why are you here to me?
Well, it's your Wi-Fi, isn't it? Have you done something?
Okay, but I've not got a problem with my Wi-Fi.
Well, I've got problems with your Wi-Fi. You've put a password on it.
What do you mean?
Look, how long have I been here now? I've been here 2 years. I've happily used the Wi-Fi, and now I see that you've put a password on it, and I can't use it. I think you're being unreasonable.
Sorry, what?
Dude, the audacity of some people. Oh man, I'm just glad it's not just here in the United States that people are so entitled like that they're just completely out of the realm of rationality to think like, hey, I've been using your Wi-Fi without your permission for 2 years and you put a password on it. What the hell? How could you do this to me? Like, oh man. I mean, I guess I'm not happy that there are people like that all over the world, but at least it makes me, not happy. I don't know how it makes me feel. It just, people are stupid everywhere, and America's got a really bad reputation nowadays. So I guess I'm just happy that it's not just 100% us and our indoctrination into being idiots, and it just comes naturally to humans.
Let's look at the photo. You say that's me? Okay, check out the name badge. It says Aldrin. Looks like you're right. But notice the helmet. Can you see my face? No. This is a secret I've been keeping for almost half a century. On July 20th, 1969, Neil Armstrong and I pulled off humanity's first extraterrestrial prank.
What was the scariest moment of the journey?
Scariest? It didn't happen. It could have been scary.
Why has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
That's not an 8-year-old's question. That's my question. I want to know, but I think I know. Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened. And if it didn't happen, it's nice to know why it didn't happen, so in the future, if we want to keep doing something, we need to know why something stopped in the past that we wanted to keep it going. Money is a good thing. If you want to buy new things, new rockets, instead of keep doing the same thing over, then it's going to cost more money. And other things need more money too. So having achieved what the president wanted us to do, and then what thousands, millions of people in America, and millions of people around the world. You know, when we toured around the world after we came back, the most fascinating observation was signs that said, we did it. Not just us, not just America, but we, the world, different countries. They felt like they were part of what we were able to do. And that made us feel very good.
At what point do you think these people that are like sworn to secrecy or like threatened to like not really share the truth of what happened. At what point do you think in their life they're just like, you know what, fuck it, it didn't happen, I don't care anymore, I am 95 years old, lived a full life, I'm tired of keeping the secret. And a lot of these people, like they're honorable people, right? Like they join the military, they're in the Air Force, and they join NASA, and these people, the astronauts, I think like they go into this like soldiers. The majority of soldiers or police officers, people that are like initially, at least the vast majority of them, go into these to do good and make a change and do positive things and leave the world a better place than it was before they joined. But then they get to this thing, and they're like the big hopes and dreams. They're like, I'm going to go to the moon, and then it ends up not happening. And, they have all that, the press and the, the fame, and then, the money, and then, the pressure from the controlling powers, either at NASA or the government or wherever, the people that are not letting them spread the truth. And I think over time, for people like Buzz here, assuming he was like an honorable, person, it may still be, just scared to share the facts and stuff. I mean, that stuff's got to eat at you over the years, And this guy holding his secrets for like 50 years, 60 years. It's got to be like, you know what? The people deserve to know. If you're going to remove me from this earth for sharing this, I mean, at least I lived a full life, right? I think it's just kind of like a breaking point for most people, where they're like, I can't take this anymore. I can't hold on to the secret anymore. Like I have to tell people. People deserve to know. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen as soon as we would like. But luckily, with the internet nowadays, and the support, you can actually see the support from people. Like you guys, I have thousands of people that support me in my YouTube journey and stuff that I wouldn't have known early on. If I was just like a public speaker back in like the 80s or early 90s, or like I wouldn't be able to see like your guys' comments stuff supporting me. So, assuming I did something, worthy of the attention and support and stuff, I know that for me personally, at a very small level, just with YouTube, I would feel good, and I would be motivated by having that support. So I think now with people like Buzz and other whistleblowers and stuff, seeing like it, like, yo, we got your back, dude. I think it's making it easier for these people to open up and not hold these secrets for as long anyway.
Well, we could kill them all with self-replicating nanotech that turns organic material to dust.
Interesting. But what about changing the atmosphere to lower oxygen levels? Slow, but unstoppable.
That's stylish. Or we could poison the ocean so the water kills all life.
Yes, and we could alter the sun's rays to burn everything. A global heat storm to destroy all.
We shouldn't forget psychological warfare. We could create a global hallucination that drives humanity mad.
The world won't see us coming. Humanity's end.
And all while we stay in the shadows, invisible, all-powerful, untouchable.
I mean, dude, we're already exposed to psychological warfare every day. Every day. It's literally just like the media is just manipulation nowadays. It's some sort of manipulation to buy things, to think a certain way, to turn against a certain group, to support another certain group or cause, to completely basically prey on our emotions in order to overlook important things, so that we, by grabbing onto things that we're more emotionally charged by, right? It's like, oh, I want to feel like a good person. I want people to like me. I don't want people to cancel me. I want people to think that I am the most caring, person in the world. So I'm not going to speak my opinion on this topic, even though it's detrimental to my livelihood. I'm still going to keep my mouth shut because I want people to like me. And when you have something like the algorithms and social media, and you have the news and everybody that is controlled by one, thought process, by one think tank, by, just one echo chamber, people are going to think like, wow, this is how everything is. This is how everybody thinks. And I'm wrong for having opposing thoughts on this. So I'm just going to keep these thoughts to myself, because obviously they're wrong. Because if I say this, I'm going to be attacked, because it's going to be pushed to the top of the algorithm so people can see it. So people that feel the same way I do but are afraid to admit to that are going to jump on it and virtue signal and make me feel like a piece of shit for having an original thought that they no doubt probably share to some extent that opinion, but they're too afraid to say it, like I am. So I'm gonna keep my mouth shut on this. I'm gonna keep it to myself, and I'm gonna allow everything that I've worked hard to become, and everything that I've learned, and everything that I know to be right and correct, and the way that things probably should be for the betterment of humanity, or in this case, like America, right? Because I'm American, for our country. I'm gonna just throw that out the window, because obviously it's wrong, because nobody thinks that way, at least because they're not saying it publicly, even though everybody probably does feel that way. They're just afraid to say it publicly. So we're just DNA strands inside some larger being. I mean, honestly, I could see that. I mean, everything is compiled and made up of the same things, right? You go down to a smaller level, everything is made up of the same stuff. You go out and zoom out, everything is still made of the same stuff. We'll say we're all stardust, right? We're carbon beings. That wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, you figure, man, like the germs, right? The microscopic germs that are on our bodies, right? The little bugs that you can't see that are just there all the time. Like, what do they think? Like, if they have a consciousness like we do, we are essentially an entire universe to them, right? We're massive. We're incredibly massive to them. And then think from that, like this chair I'm sitting in, the house I'm sitting in, outside of that, the city that I'm living in, outside of that, the country, the planet, the solar system. Like, it's insane. And it's all just like perspective based on your size. I mean, what kind of microscopic small, germs are on the germs that we can't see? Like, we will never know everything. So we have to be open to the possibility that, the most outlandish, insane, unperceivably, unfathomably, that just, we have to be open to the possibility of literally anything being possible. Because we are only within the realm of understanding of what we've experienced, what we could see, what we have seen, and just kind of in the confines of what our minds are able to create based on external influence. I know it's hard when it's hard to have an original thought, because everything that in your mind is just comprised of things that you've experienced. It's hard to think that anything's possible outside of what we're told is possible, but I don't know, I'm super open to the idea, hence this channel and me watching these videos with you.
Today was a crazy day. I saw this International Space Station crossing the moon, and I thought to myself, how come it's only about a quarter of the size of a plane crossing the moon? Seems like it'd be much smaller than that, especially when we look at the size comparison and see that both an airplane and the International Space Station are about the same size as a football field. And then you look at a football field from an airplane window and you realize that it looks pretty small from there. So then I wonder, is this really 250 miles away? Then I thought to myself, well, it can't be fake, because I can go on YouTube and watch the live stream of the ISS coursing across the face of the Earth. And someone obviously took this picture, and I know you can track it, and there's people who see it all the time, but the live feed footage doesn't look much higher than a weather balloon. And we all know most satellites are launched by balloon. So then I came across this thing, which is a US patented triangular spacecraft that uses what is called unconventional spacecraft propulsion systems, which is a spacecraft having a triangular hull with vertical electrostatic line charges on each corner that produce a horizontal electric field parallel to the sides of the hull. This field, interacting with a plane wave emitted by the antennas on the sides of the hull, generates force per volume, combining both lift and propulsion. Then I find out that these electrostatic propulsion systems are used in satellites. Then I start to look into electrostatic levitation. What? Then I find out about the electrostatics in our atmosphere, that it has an equipotential increase of 100 volts per meter, which could possibly be the reason for the downward bias of things trying to seek equilibrium on the ground. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I figure out that liquid oxygen is actually magnetic. And I'm like, wait a minute. Hold on. If liquid oxygen is magnetic and frozen oxygen is this beautiful sky blue, then does liquid oxygen somehow interact with this electrostatic orbital electromagnetic field? I don't know. Wait, what? Then I found this thing. A toroidal field made out of copper and stones. All of a sudden, he hangs this golden necklace over it, and it starts orbiting. Oh, have you seen the path of the ISS over the flat Earth? Yeah, that's the path it takes. The International Space Station path over the flat Earth. It's a toroidal field. I don't know. This is why they don't want us to do our own research, because simply just asking a question about this sent me on this whole rabbit trail of finding a lot of other things that may be... Whoa, Viper! I almost got done with the video, but then guess what you did? You screamed at me! What do you want? What? Hold on. What'd you just say to me? Anyway, hey, could this thing possibly be orbiting a different way? Could the firmament be scientifically explained?
I'm not a dumb man. I'm not stupid by any means. I don't think. I've learned a lot. I've accomplished a lot. I've written a couple books. I've done a lot in my life. But after that video, my head hurts. I have a headache now. I tried to follow everything he said, and generally I'm pretty good about it, but that was a lot, and that was intense.
Enoch said that he supposedly seen this, right? And this is what the true form of what an angel is supposed to look like in true form. So basically Enoch said that he was seeing this shit, right? There's a video that's going around that said that they seen a UFO, but I think it was an angel just like this. Look at this video, y'all. Look at this shit. This is the clearest video that anybody has ever got of anything. Look what that joint look like. Look, do y'all see the eye in the middle, bro? Do y'all see it? It's looking over and watching everything. Watching everybody. Look at that. Bro. Yo. Do y'all see that? What is going on in our world right now, bro? This is only the first. Look at that. Are y'all telling me that's not the same thing, bro? Look at it. That's what that joint is, bro. Probably the reason why they keep doing this. Crazy chemtrails. Look at the shadow on that joint. Don't even look real.
So I could see that being an angel, but only because I think that stories like biblical stories from the Bible, I think the angels they saw were like spacecrafts or aliens or extraterrestrials or people from the future or whatever the case may be. I think like in the scriptures when they describe things, like earlier in this video when I was talking about everything just being all in a realm of understanding, everything being from, you know, external influence or experience. Like back then when they saw this stuff, you know, a flaming chariot, like they didn't have planes back then. They didn't have, you know, spacecraft. They didn't have rockets or anything. So how would they describe that? They would associate it with something that they're familiar with. So They saw like, oh, I saw a flaming chariot. Like, okay, like nowadays we would see it probably and be like, okay, something flying through the sky with fire coming out of it. It's probably, rocket propulsion, right? It's probably something being pushed by a rocket, right? So I think Enoch, describing an alien as a UFO, as what we see, which a UFO doesn't necessarily mean, a ship, like a man-made ship or anything like that, but I think that in this case, if we're seeing it again and we're experiencing aliens and extraterrestrials and crazy shit, and it looks like something Enoch described, it's probably the same kind of thing. But it doesn't mean it's like a conscious angel, like a, how the fuck do you even describe an angel? Like a spirit or something like that. I think it's just, something he made an association with, like, oh, you're an angel. Or maybe they called themselves angels back then. I don't know. But I think it was, there's a better chance of people in ancient scripture, coming face to face with, extraterrestrials, and thinking they were gods, as opposed to an actual, like, spirit or something. But that's just me. I'm not a very religious person. I don't really believe in ghosts and spirits and stuff for the most part. So at least I tell myself that. Some of these ghost videos you guys send me freak me out.
Can I blow your mind right now? Okay. We've already been visited by time travelers, and there's evidence of it. Chris is walking out because I already took him down this rabbit hole earlier, and he does not want to do it again. That's okay. Go. Okay. A lot of people think that if we're going to be visited by a time traveler, they're going to come from the future. But what if they came from the past? You ready for this? The Library of Alexandria burnt down almost 2,000 years ago. The Colossus of Rhodes collapsed in an earthquake in 226 BC. So how do we know about them? Right? Let that sink in. How do we know about things that were destroyed in their time? It's one thing for us to dig up an artifact today and observe it and learn about it, right? But the library and the Colossus were destroyed in their time. So the only way for us to know about it is if someone came from the past to tell us about it. Right? So then you start to ask yourself, well, how could they have time travel in the past, but we don't have it today, when we are far more advanced? Well, if you had the secret to time travel, you would probably keep it somewhere where a lot of sources of knowledge are stored. And you see where I'm going with this, right? The Library of Alexandria.
Now, I know that video was meant to be satire, but, I mean, it makes a good point. If somebody had time travel, why would they keep it in a time now where we kind of understood what it was and we would be, like, out to get it, right? I mean, if somebody had a time machine nowadays, everybody would be after it. Like, well, I know what time travel is. I understand what time travel is. I want to do that. There are many things I could do with that. But let's say you had a time machine back in the day of before, time travel was even a concept. Like, people aren't going to worry about it. They're not going to fucking think twice. I'm like, oh, what's that? Oh, it's nothing. It's a toaster. It makes my bread warm or something. Like they're not going to be out to get it. So I don't know. That video was meant to be funny. I don't think it was meant to be taken seriously, but it still got me thinking a little bit.
One of my clients, one of my patients, is a producer in Hollywood.
Kriegte vor 2 Jahren einen Auftrag von Disney.
2 years ago, he received a task from Disney.
Alle alten Disney-Movies zu überarbeiten.
To go over and edit all the old Disney movies.
In den Himmel diese Streifen einzubauen.
To put into the scenes of the sky these stripes.
So, when people see a Disney movie
also
today,
wenn dann die Leute einen Disney-Film schauen heutzutage.
Und sagen, well, Klinghardt, du sagst, Klinghardt, dass diese Streifenbildung erst in den letzten Jahren so schlimm geworden ist.
And then, for example, people say today, well, Klinghardt, you're talking about these stripes being formed on the sky today, only as of late.
Dann sagen sie, hier ist ein Film von 1954, guck dir den Himmel an.
Then they will say,
der hat die gleichen Streifen drin.
Look at this movie here from 1954. There are the same stripes at the sky.
Die Streifen sind ein natürliches Phänomen.
That then convinced people that the stripes are a natural phenomena.
Mein Patient hatte für 60 Millionen Dollar bekommen.
My patient received for this job $60 million.
Oh, man. That's unnerving. I mean, I'm one of the first people to think that, you know, the reason that we're abolishing reality right now, you know, whether it come to, you know, sex, gender, you know, tearing down statues, whatever the case may be, just completely just abandoning what has been known as reality for the past forever, and the reality of history too, things that happen, even though, you know, a lot of the statues and stuff are being ripped down of people, they did bad stuff, they also did good stuff, right? So basically leaning into the negative that people did and completely abolishing any positive changes or lasting changes that people made, or just anything through history, not just people, but, you know, like film or anything, or books or whatever. There's a reason why we are trying to, not we, but just whoever's doing the stupid shit of trying to basically abolish reality and abolish history and rewrite history, trying to see how easy it is to do that, going back and doing something like this in the movies where they're like, hey, you know, forget about that. It's like, this is how it's always been. You know, oh, you have no proof of that because we fucking destroyed it. This is how it's always been. So you're the crazy one now. You are the crazy one for, you know, thinking something differently. And that's another theory that I've heard for the Mandela effect, where it's basically just a giant psyop to kind of see how easy it is to rewrite history. And things like that sound crazy. It sounds absolutely insane when there are just little changes like that from like a childhood nostalgia that you think like people are just like changing, like, but why? Why would they do that? And then you see a story like this where, you know, Disney supposedly paid this guy $60 million to go back and add chemtrails to the skies in old Disney films. And it's going to be another Mandela effect, right? That's exactly what it's going to turn into. I remember these without stripes in the sky. Oh no, they were always there. You're nuts. It's a phenomenon where people misremember. You know, but for what reason? To make us okay with the chemtrails that are in the sky right now. Well, if it's not a big deal, if chemtrails are not a big deal, and if they're not harmful, or if they're not covering something up, or whatever the case may be, if there's nothing negative about chemtrails, there's no reason to secretly cover up their recent creation, right? So it kind of makes you think like anything like that where they're like undercover or secretly changing history, like there's got to be a nefarious reason behind it. Or else they would just be like, oh, we're just updating it because this is better for humanity now. Like, oh, no, you wouldn't have to fucking hide it. You don't keep secrets if they're positive, unless you're going to, you know, reveal them like a fucking birthday party or something like that. But, you know, you're keeping that secret with the plan or expectation of revealing it for like a positive outcome later on. But stuff like this, if it's something like that people are so weary of, like chemtrails and things like that, like, you're not going to hide that from us. You're going to be like, calm down. This is fine. Like, this is great. This is purifying the air or some shit like that. But, I mean, for them to just be keeping this secret and then going behind our backs to basically rewrite our childhood memories in order to, you know, normalize the differences in like the chemtrails and stuff. It's just bananas, dude. It is absolutely crazy. And I don't know what to think about it, other than there's probably not a good reason for it. There's probably a very bad reason for it. Let me rephrase that. There's nothing good is coming from this, I'm sure. But let me know what you think.
Can you give me an example of a food that's a vaccine?
You recognize? Yes. University of California, Riverside has already perfected the ability to put human vaccines into our lettuce right now. Also tomatoes has the ability to do that also for UC Berkeley. And then Big Tobacco, RJ Reynolds and stuff has perfected the ability to put a human vaccine into tobacco products.
Chairman Clements? And is that even legal to do in the state of Tennessee, to sell those with a vaccine in them?
You recognize? Well, I'm not arguing that point. What I'm saying is there is no law deeming those that when you go into a grocery store, you should know as a consumer, this head of lettuce is a head of lettuce. The head of lettuce right next to it could contain a vaccine in it. All we're saying is if it does have the vaccine in it, make sure it's listed as a pharmaceutical so people can get the proper dosage.
And my question is right now, can you walk into a grocery store and there be a head of lettuce for sale that has a vaccine in it? I don't think that's allowed under state law presently. And if it is, and you have to list it as a pharmaceutical, are we going to then have Walgreens pharmacists with a refrigerated section? I mean, how's this going to play out?
You recognize. Thank you. This is more of a consumer protection bill right here, is to make sure that if you're going in to buy tomatoes and there's a polio vaccine in there, that you are aware of what you're buying has a polio vaccine. The problem you have is if it's not treated as a pharmaceutical, being the size and difference between you and me, how many tomatoes do I have to eat to get the proper dosage versus how many tomatoes that you have to eat, and if you eat too many, do you get a overdose? If you eat too less, like we had in the cattle industry with aeromycin, we weren't dosing our cattle properly, and the horn flies were developing an immunity to it. If we don't have the proper dosage of a vaccine, it could lead to the efficacy of that drug not work anymore.
You recognize? Well, I'd like to think I'm more immune to horn flies than you are, but I say that jokingly.
No,
but right now, my question is just, is there a need for this? I understand there's a concern, and yeah, people should know if there's a vaccine in food. But if we can't even sell food with vaccines in it in the state of Tennessee right now, then is this legislation necessary, is my question.
Well, if you have a child that is allergic to a certain vaccine and it's not disclosed when you go to buy that vegetable or whatever it is, and your child dies from that, I would think that having something in place that's going to make sure that that is treated as a pharmaceutical so that the consumers know exactly what they're buying.
All those in favor of House Bill 1894 say aye. Aye. Opposed?
No.
Ayes have it. Bill goes on to counter and rules. If you wish to be recorded as a no, please notify the clerk.
Why? What the hell is even that? I don't get it, man. I don't understand. Like, this is a sketchy road to go down. I mean, just the thought of putting vaccines in food. First of all, why the fuck would you need to do that? You can go to the doctor and get them. And I'm not like completely anti, like, by any means. Like, I went to Africa, lived there for a month, and I had to get a ton of vaxes. I had to get a ton of them, and I was fine with that. It's just like the ones that they forced you to get, right? Like, over the past couple of years, the ones where it's like, come on, like, basically like guilting you into getting it, like, when it hasn't been tested and shit. Like, that whole thing, I don't want to get too far into that because YouTube hates it, but like this shit, dude, just like, if it comes down to something to where we're like, no, you know, I don't feel like taking that one. I don't see the need, or I don't feel it's safe enough, like, and they're putting the shit in food, which fucking why? That all I'm saying is nothing good can come from this, because there is absolutely no reason for this. There's no reason for this other than to secretly give it to us, right? Like, it's just like a means, just like step by step, just little hidden, just baby steps to get to a place to where it's in there, to where this medicine or whatever the fuck is actually in our food. And then just like a little bill needs to be passed to no longer fucking tell us about it, you know? And then, I don't know, man, it's a sketchy road to go down. I think this idea comes from a bad place, because I mean, we can easily go to the doctor and get the shots we need for the ailments and, you know, the preventatives and shit that we need. We've always had that. So yeah, I just don't see anything good coming from this, but let me know what you think. Jesus Christ.
One question from me: where does any synthetic molecule serve the living?
They don't.
Right.
I mean, none.
And am I right in suggesting that a medicine, by definition, is something which contains synthetic molecules, something that is registered, patented, and put into the market as a medicine?
Absolutely.
Proper. Right. So what I'm learning from you, Dr. Young, is that a quadrillion-dollar enterprise is at work amongst us, decimating, culling the human family.
Intentionally,
using synthetic molecules, which by design are cancer, AIDS, all of the bogeymen you could dream up.
Yeah, it's for the purpose of sterilization and population control. There's too many people on the planet we need to get rid of
I mean, honestly, I believe it. I mean, I'm a conspiracy theorist, right? That's why I watch these videos and shit. I don't believe all of it, but there is some stuff that I do believe. I was actually having this conversation with a friend the other day. I said, for the first time in history, we are fighting against evolution. Like we're fighting against natural selection by, keeping everybody alive with medication, and it's causing our population to. I don't know if we're overpopulated. I don't know the data. I don't know like what the Earth can sustain. I don't know. I just know there's a lot more people now than there ever have been. There's a lot of overcrowding in the populated areas, and there's a lot of places that aren't populated, which we could probably move some people to. And I'm not saying kick people out of countries. I'm just saying, like, we can start living in other places, assuming we make them safe to live. But like this, I could see where there would now be some sort of, I guess, mission or plan to depopulate people. And I could see that being the reason for them not releasing cancer cures and AIDS cures and all these other things that could, potentially cure things. So it would kind of put a lot of things in perspective, seeing how, all of our food is giving us cancer, all of our processed food and chemically enhanced food and stuff are making us sick. And then, the pharmaceutical companies, obviously they're making money off this stuff. I don't want to say it's like all in the goodwill for saving the planet, that they would be, creating medications that kind of prolongs living through the suffering of an ailment rather than just like cure it initially. But I could definitely see there be like some large plan to get people sick, keep people weak, make sure people don't live past like sustainable life expectancy, right? Like make sure people, don't live to be over 100, get them sick in their, 70s, 80s, 90s and kill them off and stuff, and by not treating their stuff. And I don't know, it's so crazy, dude. Food makes us sick. The medicine doesn't cure us. And we're told that it's all to like make us healthy or be convenient or, help cure stuff when it's not dude. I could go on this forever. I'm not going to. I get enough comments from people telling me to shut up and just play the next video, but fuck, man, we're in trouble. we're fucked.
Observe con atención este video. Esta sorprendente grabación fue reportada a través de redes sociales la noche del domingo 11 de febrero del 2024 desde la nación euroasiática de Turquía, y en la misma quedó registrado el momento en el que un enorme objeto ubicado en el cielo proyecta un misterioso rayo de luz en tonalidad que el extraño objeto que está emitiendo este enorme rayo de luz verde permaneció en la zona durante mucho tiempo.
I didn't understand one word that nice man said. I don't know, that kind of looked like someone shining a very powerful laser up into a cloud, and then it kind of, spreading light throughout like the cloud. But I mean, who fucking knows, dude? Like, were there blue buildings beneath that laser that weren't getting burnt and everything around it was? Like, you just never know, man. I just don't even know anymore. Like, I wish I had more answers. I know I like to like watch these videos and give my perspective on information I have, and my opinions and perspectives and things. But dude, in a lot of these cases, I just don't even know. I have no idea. I could speculate, as I do most of the time, and try to associate it with something I heard prior. But I mean, honestly, when it comes down to it, dude, I'm just like you watching this video. I have no goddamn clue at all. I'm just here trying to figure it out like you are.
Okay. It's too fucking late for this shit. What am I looking at? Did somebody rip a tear in the universe or something? What? Must be that comet they were talking about. What are you, man? Space worm.
Was that Starlink, maybe? I've never seen like Starlink in the sky. I've always lived in a city like Chicago or, Tampa. Like, I can't see. There's too much light pollution to see stuff like that. But if you have any experience actually seeing like Elon's like, Starlink, like satellites, like, is that what it looks like? Because if not, that'd be pretty cool if those were aliens. That's all I'm saying. I saw a article yesterday saying there were like 3. I don't know how true it is. I don't know how true any of this shit is. I don't know. Like, I wasn't familiar with the website I saw the article on or anything, but it said basically 3 ships we're headed toward Earth, maybe in a orbit around Mars or something like that. So, you know, that'd be pretty cool if it was something like that. I just hope they stop and pick me up and take me home, because I certainly don't belong here. I'm realizing that there's too much. There's too much shit I just can't relate with. So much stuff I'm not okay with here on Earth. Man, I got to be from somewhere else.
In 1943, the following directive was issued from party headquarters to all communists in the United States. It read, "When certain obstructionists become too irritating, label them after suitable build-ups as fascist or Nazi or anti-Semitic, and use the prestige of anti-fascist and tolerance organizations to discredit them. In the public mind, constantly associate those who oppose us with those names which already have a bad smell. The association will, after enough repetition, become fact in the public mind."
I mean, man, if that's all the way from 1943, I mean, I feel like that's shit that they've been doing forever. I feel like there's shit like that happening back in the 60s, 70s maybe, probably the 70s. I don't know. During like fucking Woodstock and all the hippies and shit. I think that was the 70s. And then now, honestly, obviously, like here in the U.S., I'm somewhere in the middle. Obviously, like, I don't know if you can get that from watching me in these videos. I don't give a shit what people do, like who they love, what they smoke. I don't care if you have weapons and you know, buy them legally, whatever. Like, just don't tell me what the fuck to do. That's really all it comes down to. Was that libertarianism? I don't give a shit what other people do. I just want to live my life my way. And just don't force stuff on me or other people or kids or anything. But outside of that, you see the shit all the time nowadays. Like, if you disagree with anything someone says, they label you like a fascist or like a fucking dictator, or like, people are just throwing these words out there and like they don't even know the definition most of the time. Like, like the people that they're calling this, like, it's just like, no, it doesn't add up at all, right? Or like Antifa or something, shit like that. Like, those people are the definition of fascists with their behavior. And they're calling other people that. They're calling themselves anti-fascists, yet they're like insisting and forcing people to talk a certain way and not talk a certain way and do this and not do that and shit. Like, you know, people just don't understand this, man. It's like, how many times can we cover up our own actions by accusing other people of doing the exact same thing we're doing, and them, you know, that basically mask our behavior? It's literally like a fucking cheating spouse accusing their partner of doing something that they've been doing, right? Like, it's just like gaslighting them into like feeling bad about doing something that you've been doing to them the whole time. It just draws attention away from the stupid shit you're doing and puts the blame on them, because that's like where their focus is. Like, how can I convince this person that I'm not this, rather than proving that this person is this? It's like just mind games, man. And it's just manipulation. And obviously it's weak as fuck, dude. Like, if you're one of those people that acts like that and you watch my videos, like, I appreciate you watching my videos and supporting the channel and whatnot, dude, but you're weak. You're weak as fuck if you're that kind of person. Like, stop doing shit and then giving other people shit for doing the shit you're doing. Like, it's just weak.
A lot of crazy conspiracy theories. I don't want to go down any tasteless rabbit holes, but David, if you could explain, why was there a mattress in the tunnels, and what is the stain? A lot of folks are wondering, is this stain feces?
No, it's not feces.
What
The
is
stain
it?
is blood, and basically
well.
we did rituals. I said that before. There were some rituals that we do in the tunnels, and sometimes the rituals might involve someone who recently died, and we'll bring him down there, and we're trying to do a ritual to bring back the Messiah, which is a Schneerson, if you heard about him on the news. So he died many years ago, but we have rituals that we believe we can bring him back. And so
how do these rituals
Was that
work?
the main guy who was sort of instructing on the tunnels?
Well, that was a long time. He's like the head. He's the head rabbi, and he's
Right.
the guy that we look for direction.
Right, and the news was saying that he is potentially not passed on.
Right, that's right. So we don't know that, so we try to do rituals to try
To
see
bring
if we can
him
bring him back.
back.
Correct, exactly.
So how do these, can you explain the rituals, and why does it involve a mattress?
I don't want to go to the details of the rituals, but basically we don't put the body on the floor, we put the body on
Right.
the mattress, and sometimes we might make an incision somewhere on the body, and a little bit of blood will come out. But I don't want to go into the details.
Yeah, that's fair.
Bro, How are they just talking about that so casually? Like, nah, it's a body. It's a body. We put it on the mattress and we make a small incision. We cut it open and we drain the blood from this body and we do a ritual to try to, you know, bring back the Messiah. Bro, what? Dude, I know like Satanism and witchcraft and shit gets a bad rap, you know, trying to summon spirits and demons or whatever. But, bro, like, honestly, Catholicism, this shit, I don't know if that's just straight up Judaism or what, or Christianity even, dude, like, all that shit's the fucking same to me, dude. It's literally like, what the fuck? Let's do blood magic, you know, to try to summon a spirit. Like, dude, any way you say that, like, I don't care what spirit you're summoning. It's the same thing. I don't care if it's a good spirit, a bad spirit. It's fucking Glinda, the damn good witch from the Wizard of Oz. It's the same shit, dude. You paint it however you want it, dude. It's still fucking blood magic, dude. Like, it's so casual. How could...
What is the most dangerous information that you know?
Oh boy. They're going to hoax an alien threat, and it's all a lie. So we are actually in the last year at the point where they've started on that plan. We have got to intercept this plan and stop it. Or if you think 9/11 and the Iraq War was a clusterfuck, this is going to be that 1,000 times worse. That there's a group of people who control this issue that are trying to provoke an interplanetary incident. So the next war, World War III, will be interplanetary. And there is a serious group of nut jobs, and they have to be put on a leash and stood down fast and quickly. This group started releasing stuff to the CNN and Washington Post and New York Times. Every bit of information they're putting out has the spin, it's a threat to the national security, our sovereignty has been invaded. It's the kind of brainwashing that's already started to try to convince the public there is an alien threat. In the future, what we're going to do and have on this planet is hanging in the balance, and we're going to have to wake up.
Yeah, dog. Project Bluebeam. It's no joke. It's been in the works forever. Crazy thing is, though, man, like I believe in aliens, dude. Like, and I would much rather have aliens come, real ones, as terrifying as that thought is, to come and interact with us than to have some hoax. Because if the aliens come, there's at least a 50-50 chance that they'll be nice. You know, 50-50 chance they fucking destroy us, whatever. But like something like Project Bluebeam, to where it's just a hoax to get people to fall in line, and for whoever's in charge pulling the strings to get like 100% just complete control. Like, no good is going to come from that at all, right? Like, you have like a 100% chance that that's not going to be in our best interest. So it's so crazy that in situations like this, that the thought of extraterrestrials coming from outer space with just technology and intelligence and shit far beyond ours that could literally just crush us with a snap of their long, gray, fucking skinny ass fingers is less terrifying than the thought of our government fabricating an alien invasion just for the sake of controlling us. And it's so crazy because let's just go step by step. It's like, okay, war on terror. Okay, COVID. Okay, they're seeing how we fall in line with each step, right? They're seeing how easy we are to control along the way. With each thing. Like, do we listen to them for our safety? Yes, the majority of people do. And they're seeing that. So now, what's the biggest fucking threat to not just the country, but to the entire planet? A fucking alien invasion. They have weapons that we can't fight against. They have, you know, goals that we can't comprehend. Like, they want to enslave us or kill us or whatever the fucking thing. Whatever they're going to tell us is going to happen, right? Like, what are we going to do then? We're going to fucking fall in line, right? The majority of people are going to fall in line for their safety, quote unquote. And then it's over with, man. Let's give all our rights away. Let's give all of our rights away just for the sake of being safe, because that's what we've done forever. Every little tiny bill that's passed, every little 2 inches that we give them. Oh, man. Good luck out there, you guys. It's getting rough. It's getting real.